Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Let Loose podcast with your only host for the day, WesVee. Anybody that was with us, what was it, Wednesday night? My camera and audio kept fucking up. Ordered a new camera. Came in today. So I thought I'd jump on here and give you guys my picks and stuff since I wasn't able to. Already gave Jordan all my picks and everything, but I just wanted to jump on here, one, to make sure this camera works and everything's all right, and two, to give you guys my picks and whatnot. Um, Hopefully, we don't have any issues. Hopefully, since I got this new camera, we're done with all the technical issues. But without further ado, I'll just jump into it. So last night we had the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. In my head, I wanted to select the Rams, but in my heart, I selected San Fran. Lost that one, so I'm down. I'm down bad already. The next game, we got Kansas City headed to Cleveland at the start of the 1 o'clock games. As of now, Kansas City is favored by 4.5. I'm going Kansas City. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all these picks for the most part, but Kansas City, they're 11-1, 12-1. Buffalo's the only team to beat them, and that is the only Super Bowl team within the conversation that I believe them in Detroit that would have a chance to beating Kansas City, given they've won in every way possible that they can this season. So I'm going to take Kansas City, and Cleveland's really, they haven't really found an identity, even though they've been playing better with Jameis Winston back there. I just don't think they're going to beat Kansas City, but I wouldn't be surprised that it would be an upset. But I will go Kansas City. I do think I have the Cleveland covering. I do have Cleveland covering, and the over under is 43.5. Kansas City hasn't been putting up a lot of numbers or a lot of points, and even though they haven't been doing that, their defense is pretty decent still. I think I have them on my fantasy team, and they've done all right. And I do plan on Jameis Winston throwing at least one or two interceptions as normal. So I'm going to take Kansas City covering that 4.5, and I'm going to go with the under of the 43.5. The next game, we got Cincinnati headed into Tennessee, where Cincinnati is a 5-point favorite. Cincinnati kept coming off the win against Dallas, albeit a bonehead, play by Dallas. Cincinnati did go down there, put a drive together, and win the game. So I think they're going to come off of that with a little bit of confidence going into Tennessee, that they're either really good that day or they're really terrible. I think they're going to be really terrible. Maybe not really terrible, but I don't think they're going to be enough to beat Cincinnati. That over-under is 46.5. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, they're on another level. They're literally, Joe Burrow holds almost all of the quarterback stats, and Jamar Chase holds almost all of the wide receiver stats. So if you got either one of them on your team, I highly suggest that you start them. And I'm going to take the over on that 46.5. Next, we got Washington headed into New Orleans, where Washington is a 7.5-point favorite. Derek Carr is out. Taysom Hill is out. They got a bunch of injuries. Washington is, they're looking pretty good with Jaden Daniels back there. Their defense is doing pretty well as well. And going against New Orleans, I think Washington will definitely win this game. I think they'll cover that 7.5. I think they might win. I wouldn't be surprised if they win by 11 to 14 points. And this game is in New Orleans, which can be a tough place to play, but given all those injuries, I think Washington will win this game. Next, we got Baltimore headed into New York, where Baltimore is a 16-point favorite. Baltimore's coming off a bye, and Harbaugh, I heard it earlier, is I want to say like 26-3 or something like that, coming off a bye. I like to know who those three losses are to, but I don't foresee it going to be this year coming against New York. So I'm definitely going to take Baltimore. 16 points, man. I'll take that 16 points. Yeah, so I got Baltimore covering. The over under is 42 and a half. I think Baltimore is going to score more than half of that themselves. So New York, I don't think they're tanking, but they're definitely not on a Baltimore level. And they'll be picking one or two in the draft. Next game we got is Dallas, who is an underdog at Carolina. Carolina is favored by 3 points. That over under is 43 and a half. I'm taking Dallas on this one. They're going to be pissed off about the loss against Cincinnati. And Carolina, even though Bryce Young has been playing better since he got his job back, I think, like I said, Dallas is going to be pissed off. They're going to take it off on California, Carolina. So I picked Dallas with the upset. The over under is 43 and a half. I'm going to, what did I take? I told him over. So I guess I'll take that over as well. Still, the next game, New York Jets go into Jacksonville, where the Jets are favored by 3.5. That over under is 40 and a half. Jacksonville is just, they're probably going to be picking in the top 5, top 1, 2, or 3. It's between the Raiders, Carolina, and Jacksonville, I would assume. So they'll definitely be picking high up there. And I don't take them to win this game. The Jets, I know they're just as terrible, but against Jacksonville, New York has had some leads late in the game and they keep giving them up. But I think against Jacksonville, they come through. So I'm going to take the New York Jets. They're going to cover that, and I'm taking the under of 40 and a half. Next game is Miami versus Houston. In Houston, Houston's favored by 3. Miami, they're like in the last 5 games, 6 games, or 4 and 2 or something like that. 4 and 1. No, the last 5 games are 4 and 1. I'm going to take them to get a loss here because I think Houston at home, as long as they can protect C.J. Stroud, I think he's been the most sacked quarterback this entire season. Which, I mean, maybe that line is just not very good this year, and they can't fucking protect anything. But I'm not sure how Miami's line's going to be able to get in there. If they do, it will cause some problems. But I got Houston in this. They're going to cover. And I got the over because I think some points will be scored. The next game is the 4 o'clock slot games is the Colts versus Denver. Denver is favored by 4.5 as of now, and that over under is 44.5. Denver's on a bender this year, and they're very, very surprising. AR-15's coming in and out, decided he's too tired to play and this, that, and the third. Even though since he's came back, he's played all right. I think they got Michael Pittman back this week because I don't think he's been playing, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Denver is just an overall better team, so I picked Denver. I think they're going to cover, and I think the point spread is going to be well, not the point spread, but the over under is going to be over. The next game is Buffalo versus Detroit. In Detroit, Detroit is favored by 2.5. And I'm sorry, Jordan, I know you love your Detroit Lions, but coming off that loss to the LA Rams, I think Buffalo is going to want to prove something. And Detroit is possibly the best team in the league all around. And with Josh Allen just being able to, run the shit out of the ball and pass the ball. I'm not sure about his passing stats this year, but I know he does spread the ball to everybody. You don't have any, drama queen, AJ Browns or Stephon Diggs on the team anymore. So, or those type of players. So I'm going to take Buffalo to get this upset, so to speak. I think this is a battle for the best teams in the league, even though Kansas City is, 12 and 1 or whatever it is. They just haven't been playing great, but they've just been doing enough to win. But but I think these two teams are the best teams in the league, and I'm going to take Buffalo with the upset. And I'm going to take the over on the point spread or on the over under because both these teams can put up a lot of points. The next game is Pittsburgh versus Philly in Philly. Philly is favored by 5.5, and that over under is 43.5. I took Philly to win this game because it is at home. AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts and Brandon Graham and all this other shit that's come out in the media. I think they're going to force feed AJ Brown and to make him happy. And if Pittsburgh, picks up on that, they got the I don't even know what to call him, Saquon Barkley in the back. So maybe they get the passing game to go. That'll open up the running game, and Saquon might, I don't want to say have a big day, but they'll have enough to where it'll help get them the win. So I'm going to take Philly. I'm going to take Pittsburgh to cover the 5.5. I think Philly might win by 4 or 3 or something like that. And I'm going to take the over because I think Russ is going to cook, and they're going to get AJ Brown and Deontay Smith involved to, I guess, silence the, whatever rumors that they got going on. And that'll be that. So Philly, pick covers, and I with the over. Oh no, we got 2 more games for the 4 o'clock. The next game, New England goes to Arizona. Arizona's favored by 6 points. I'm going to take Arizona. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Both teams aren't that great, but Arizona is statistically the better team. So I got Arizona. They're going to cover. The over-under is 46.5. I'm going to take the under. The next game is Tampa Bay going into LA to face the Chargers. The Chargers are only favored by 3, and that over-under is 45.5 as of now. I'm going to take LA because that defense might be able to get to Baker, and when he's, when he gets, I don't want to say attacked or whatever, but when he gets pressured and stuff, he's not as good as he is when he's got time or when he's able to scramble around. Now, if he can scramble around and stuff like that, he might be able to make plays with his feet and his arm. But with it being in LA, I'm going to take LA, and they're going to cover, and I'm taking the over on the points. The night game is Green Bay versus Seattle. In Seattle with the 12th man. Green Bay is favored by 2.5. That over-under is 45.5. I'm going to take Green Bay. Seattle's too up and down for me. One week they look like shit. The next week they look, I don't want to say unbeatable, but they look like they got their shit together. It all depends on which Seattle shows up. But Green Bay's been a solid team the entire season, and I don't think the 12th man's going to affect them that much. So I'm going to take Green Bay. They're going to cover, and I do think points will be scored. So I'm going to take, or no, I don't think points are going to be scored. So I'm going to take the under. Got 2 matchups on Monday night. The first one being Chicago at Minnesota. Minnesota's favored by a whole touchdown, a whole 7 points. So Chicago's not been a good team whatsoever. And Minnesota is kind of like Kansas City. Well, at the beginning of the season, Minnesota was looking really good, blowing teams out. Kind of slowed down. Now they're kind of just doing what Kansas City is doing and winning by whatever means necessary. I don't think Chicago, this could be an upset pick possibly, but I'm going to take Minnesota. Chicago will cover that, I believe. That 2.5, or no, the 7. I think, Minnesota will win by 3 or 4 points or so, and I'm going to take the over because I think Chicago, if Caleb Williams can scramble and stuff like that, they might have a chance. So yeah, I'm going to take Minnesota. Chicago will cover, and I'll take the over. The last game of the week, second game of Monday night, is Atlanta versus Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, Atlanta is favored by 4, and that over-under is 44.5. I got Atlanta winning. They're going to break this not curse, but this losing streak that they've had, or this bad 4, 5, 6 games that Kirk Cousins have been playing, and I think they'll do enough just to win against the Las Vegas Raiders because Aiden O'Connell is starting from what I heard today, even though he left the game injured last week. Um, so I think that will limit them for what they can do because he'll be playing hurt or really sore or whatever. I don't even remember what was wrong with him. But I think Atlanta will do enough to win that game. I got Atlanta winning. I got Las Vegas covering though, and I got the over under as under 44 and a half. So those are my picks for this week. What else didn't I get to talk about? I didn't get to talk about the Bill Belichick. Locked in, new camera activated. Yes, sir, Jordan. Camera is activated. Hopefully, we have no issues moving forward, but one can hope. Like I said, Bill Belichick, him coming to college and to be a head coach. I've heard a lot of different things about this. Is it a good idea? Yeah. Is it a bad idea? Possibly. From what I was trying to get out on the last episode, there was some speculation that Robert Kraft put out some words of disencouragement towards Bill Belichick. Kind of maybe because of that whole documentary, it really painted Tom Brady in a great light and Bill Belichick not so much in a great light. So I don't know if there's some behind the scenes shit that's going on to where, things are being said to not hire, kind of blackball Bill Belichick. I don't know. I can't prove that shit. But I do know him going to North Carolina, his dad coached there. I think he said he played there or something, or his dad played there and coached there or something. He's got ties in North Carolina, so that's one reason why he went there. And two is the whole NFL thing. He didn't want to sit there and think that he is going to get a call to get a coaching position or an interview or anything like that. And I think that he thinks that he can do in the college what he did in the NFL because college is kind of like the NFL now where players are getting paid and whatnot, and they got the transfer portal and stuff like this. But I don't think he's going to win the national championship or multiple national championships because I don't think he might coach half of this contract depending on how well it goes. If it goes pretty well, hell, he might coach the entire contract. But I do know after the first year, he has a buyout of $1 million. So if he, for some reason, wants to go to the NFL or gets a call from the NFL, they can buy him out, and then he can go to the NFL. I don't know if that's the case, if that's going to be a possibility, or if he's just going to say, go fuck yourselves. I don't know. But I can't seem to think that all-time wins record isn't on his mind. He said it's not. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But I definitely will be watching some UNC games. I definitely will be interested in seeing what he does and how it goes. So that'll be interesting to see and talk about and stuff coming up next season. What else did they talk about in my absence last week? I feel like there was something else. Rich Rodriguez coming back to West Virginia. He just did the press conference today. The Pat McAfee show was there at the Coliseum to do all that, and I almost watching all of that, Pat McAfee talk it up, and then when Rich Rodriguez got up and they did an interview with him, and then afterwards they did an interview with Nick Saban, and then they had the press conference for Rich Rod. I'm mixed in between how I feel about it. I do hope that we can come back to some relevance as where we were when he was there 17 years ago. I am a little upset about how he left, the way it ended and stuff like that, but I get it. He felt he had better opportunities elsewhere, whatever, whatever. It was 17 years ago. Some things, bygones can be bygones. So the only thing that I can hope is that all this talk that him and Pat McAfee have been doing, that doesn't put too much pressure on him to where it comes out and shits the bed, because he's already talking about September 13th, eat shit pit and stuff like this. I mean, it's always going to be eat shit pit. I don't care. But I'm just hoping that when that time comes, that they don't beat the dog breaks off of us, and that starts a tumultuous season. It's the third game of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I think we got TCU first game. I can't remember who we got second game, and then we got the backyard brawl. So we could be going to 2-0, headed into that game, but depending on how that game goes, it could start a slide for us in the season. I haven't looked at the schedule to see who all we play, but I just don't want them to put too much pressure on themselves, and then it coming out and us having a terrible season, because then everybody's going to want to jump off the bandwagon and stuff like that. So I can be optimistic as possible, but I'm the kind of person I'll believe it when I see it. I do think he's better than Neil Brown, 100%. The last game that he played at Jackson, or that he coached at Jackson State, they won. They won big. It was like 45-19 or something like that. So they didn't have a great record, but putting up points like that by any team, I think, is pretty solid. So mixed emotions. I'm optimistic for the next West Virginia University football season. Um, Bill Belichick, I want to say optimistic, but I'm excited to see what he can do in the college realm. Um, and I gave you my picks. So I ain't got Jordan or Sam here to go back and forth with all this stuff, but I just wanted to, for one, like I said, test out this camera, make sure everything's kosher. It seems like, from what Jordan has said and stuff like that, it looks like it's all right, sounding good. So hopefully we have no issues moving forward. So this is WesVee out. Thank you for tuning in to the Let Loose podcast, and we'll see you next episode.